Something else that I then did, which interested me, was to see how the charter schools look. Because one of the main ingredients in reform in Texas and across the nation right now is to promote charter schools. The idea is that because they are flexible, because they're not bound by regulations, they can try experiments that would not be possible at other places. And if we find innovations in them, we can use those innovations to replicate and inspire other schools. I think it's a great idea.
How did the charter schools perform in comparison with the other schools in Texas? I highlight them. Most of the charter schools are down on the horizontal axis, where none of the students are graduating from high school ready for college by the SAT-ACT measure.
But when I looked at the Texas charter schools by this measure, to my surprise, almost all of them were at the very, very bottom. They were below, in overwhelming numbers, the public schools with which they are being compared. There are none by this measure that serve as a very, very good model for the other Texas public schools, and that worried me. Now, there are some other things that one can check as well.
Perhaps judging by the SAT or ACT is too strict a measure. Let's look at commended scores at 11th grade. Now on the vertical axis is the percentage of students in 11th grade getting commended scores on the high-stakes test, TAKS, mathematics. Once again, highlighting the charter schools, one sees that most are below the regular public schools. There are now, however, 5 that serve a large number of low-income kids and do really quite well. These are some of the well-known charter schools such as Yes, KIPP, IDEA, and Harmony.
But the overwhelming majority of the charter schools, as they are in Texas right now, are doing much, much worse. So out of about 140 secondary charter schools, about 5 are really standing out as being better than comparable public schools. About 30 are comparable, and over 100 look dramatically worse.
What about passing scores? Perhaps the charter schools are more successful than the regular public schools at that. Highlighting them, one sees that once again there is a number that are competitive with the best of the regular public schools, but most of the charter schools are actually clustered below the main public school band. Let's look at some of the minority subgroups. This is college readiness by the SAT-ACT criterion for Hispanic students in Texas in 2008, highlighting the charter schools. One sees that once again they're clustered almost completely on the horizontal axis. For African American students, the story is similar, highlighting the charter schools. They are again almost completely on the horizontal axis. Finally, let's look at white students in Texas in 2008. The linkage between poverty and college readiness is no longer as dramatic as it was for the other groups, but once again highlighting charter schools, one finds that with some small and rare exceptions, they are lying at the very bottom of performance.
This is worrisome if one of the main focuses of policy going forward from here is to be to take kids from regular public schools and put them in charter schools.